And the North Carolina Zoo celebrating a major milestone this summer, 50 wild years. When the zoo first opened in the summer of 1974, there were only about 50 animals.
Shannon Smith tells us the zoo grew quickly by bringing in hundreds of animals and thousands of people.
So there were no rhinos in this exhibit when I worked.
The zoo's 40-acre Watani grassland habitat brings back so many memories for Lou Kiesler. She spent most of her 30-year career caring for the animals on this large natural space. Lou started as a zookeeper here in 1976, before the permanent zoo was even built.
Kind of the traditional old-fashioned zoo. We had cages. We had paddocks, which were about 1 acre, chain link fencing.
The interim zoo introduced visitors to the animals while their large habitats were under construction.
They wanted people to be able to come and walk around and see what was to come and understand the concept of wider, more open spaces for the animals.
The zoo's first animals included 2 Galapagos tortoises named Tort and Retort, Tigger, the baby tiger, Cesar, a young elephant, and the crowd favorite, Ramar the gorilla.
He was a show animal when he was very small, so he did a lot of acrobatic tricks, rode a bicycle, did handstands, headstands on his trainer. When he came here, he was just the center of attention, and he loved it.
And back then, zookeeping was dramatically different. Just look at Lou face to face with Ramar. At that time, staff members could get close and even hold the animals. And that led to some memorable moments.
And there was one keeper who was outside the gibbon cage and leaned forward a little too close. Now these are 2x2 squares, and that gibbon hand went out, grabbed the glasses, folded them, and put them back through the cage like that. And of course, it was funny, but it wasn't funny. But those kind of things, yeah, we laughed at and learned from.
By 1979, the zoo finally opened the first large African habitat.
Had zebra, ostrich, and giraffe in one exhibit. So they were all mixed as they would be in the wild.
Throughout the 80s, the zoo grew rapidly, adding the African pavilion where guests could see gorillas, baboons, monkeys, and meerkats.
Everybody loved the meerkats.
During the decade, the rhino habitat opened and a baby was born. Even more elephants arrived, and in 1984, Lou moved to what's now the Watani grasslands. That new habitat was bigger than most zoos across the country, with 12 antelope species.
And we saw things that most other zoos never see, in that we had animals like in herds. They would be in the wild, so we had multiple males. The males would fight for dominance of the herd.
Lou says all of the animals changed as they moved from cages and small fenced-in areas to these large open spaces.
More relaxed, a part of a troop. Birds were part of a flock. It's the way nature intended it.
And guests got to witness those wild behaviors and make connections to the animals.
White rhinos are the largest of the 5 species.
Now they can even go out onto the habitat on a Zoofari bus.
I think it's great. I think that's one of the best things the zoo has done, and it certainly has proved successful.
Lou's proud of her 30-year career at the zoo and how the zoo grew and changed during her time here.
That's Ramar when he was here.
Oh, okay.
I took that picture.
Most of all, she loves to open up her scrapbook and share stories of her time with the animals. Was he a giant?
He was, and he was smart.